The news is live on Joy99.7 FM in Accra. We are live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We are streaming live on Facebook and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Radio Wa in Wa, ATL FM in Cape Coast, KTU is in Koforidua, Radio Max in Takrade, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, A1 and Dreams FM in Bolgatanga, Jubilee Radio is in Keta, and we are streaming live on Facebook. You could go digital on the My Joy online app. And coming up, an easy calm in the Upper East region after health authorities confirmed Ghana's first death from the monkeypox virus.
We don't know who is the person, where he lives.
I feel there's a certain level of cause to be concerned, but the biggest concern is that there's not much information about it.
This afternoon, the Ghana Health Service has activated its full-scale emergency response. We have details. Also, 800,000 Ghana cards yet to be allocated and collected as the National Identification Authority exonerates itself from blame in the ongoing SIM registration challenges.
Immediate challenge right now has to do with cards that have been printed and simply waiting for applicants to come and pick them up. That is around 800,000 cards.
And as the Communication Ministry gives a 2-month window for the registration, policy analyst Dr. Charles Rekubrobe is blaming what he describes as the lack of communication between the NIA and the NCA for the chaos.
One of the tragic things about what's going on is that two state agencies, two regulators are not talking to each other.
And listen, if the quick loan you've taken from the telcos is the reason for your refusal to register the SIM card, the Chamber of Telecommunications has a message for you.
Because the SIMs that they used in taking these loans, they've left a lot of digital trails behind. And so they will definitely be found.
And also in this package, New Year, same problems.
They have a role to play by boycotting the entrance examination. There's strength in unity. We cannot countenance a serial breaker of the law.
Fresh calls for legal reforms and boycott of this year's law school entrance exam after the GLC reintroduced the unlawful undertaking of non-disclosure of results and new measures, including non-disclosure of pass mark. We have details coming up in sports.
The Ghana Boxing Federation has jammed in defense of boxer Shakur Samed following his suspension from the Commonwealth Games after failing a doping test. We'll bring you more in 20 minutes.
And later, Risking to be Educated will bring you the struggles of children at Botiman in their quest to access education.
Sometimes cars pass here, they fall inside the water.
What does it mean to you? Do you become afraid to go to school?
Please, yes. I'm afraid for that.
We have details of these stories and more in this half-hour package. Please stay with us. Hello again, thanks for choosing us. This is the home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. I am Ernest. Manu. The details now. This afternoon, there's an easy calm in the Upper East region after health authorities confirmed Ghana's first death from the monkeypox virus. According to the Regional Health Directorate, the confirmed case was seen on the 22nd of July 2022 with a history of fever and skin rashes. The case died on the 22nd of July 2022. The Ghana Health Service says it has activated a full-scale emergency response to prevent further spread. We have details of efforts by the service shortly, but first, listen to some of the residents in the region who are scared there may be more cases.
We don't know who is the person, where he lives. And so, and the contacts they have said they are leading to other people. So, to me, it's not normal because the COVID came and had some few people and then went away. Or it's still there, but in a low distance. So,
well, for me, I feel there's a certain level of cause to be concerned. But, well, if the authorities are really serious about it, I think it is something that they can really curtail and take charge of it. But the biggest concern is that there's not much information about it. So that is the bigger concern.
And you had some residents in the region who are scared about the possible case of some more cases actually being identified there. My colleague Manu joins me in the studio with details of that statement issued by the Ghana Health Service. Manu, what more are we learning about this case?
So, Ernest, as you said, the case was confirmed that on 26th of July 2022. Samples were taken on the 22nd of July for confirmation at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research here in Accra. It says that Noguchi sent its feedback on the 28th of July and indicated the sample tested positive for monkeypox disease. A total of 13 contacts to the confirmed case have been identified for contact follow-up and monitoring. We also know that as of 31st of July, no additional cases had been confirmed.
But what measures have been put in place by the service to address this?
So there's a full-scale emergency response, particularly centralized in the Upper East region. It includes all contacts to the confirmed case being followed up and monitored. The Ghana Health Service training and sensitizing health staff on the monkeypox disease. They've also sent outbreak alerts to all districts and health facilities, stepped up surveillance on monkeypox disease at all health facilities and communities, intensified awareness creation and social mobilization on monkeypox, activated all public health emergency management committees, and then the most important one, emergency rapid response teams and case management teams have been deployed, with all holding or isolation centers being activated and being ready to manage cases.
Thank you very much, Manu, for bringing us those details from the Ghana Health Service. Let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to Rexford King James in the Upper East region. He's the Health Promotions Officer there. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on the Midday News. So this apprehension existing in the community must be worrying for you and your response program.
Yes. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity given as we battle with monkeypox. It is normal with every human being to be apprehensive or being jittery when a case of such nature happens, and especially when the case passes on. But we are assuring the public that they shouldn't panic, because in every health situation, when you are being confronted with a challenge or difficulty and you are being panicking, what happens is that you made mistakes which normally, if you are sober, you will not make such mistakes. So our message to the general public, together with our health workers, is that we need to calm nerves down, because this is not the first time we are confronting with such challenge.
But I guess the confidence that you can give to your people will come from the education that you give them. In what form is your education, the education that you talk about, in what form is it taken?
Yes. We normally talk of we need to mobilize the community through risk communication. You communicate the risk at hand, give the people the needed precaution measures they need to take in order to prepare themselves for them to make an informed decision. Because when something of this nature happens, it is the individual who's supposed to take the needed action to protect themselves. And because before they can do that, they need adequate information, or unadulterated information, so that they will be able to take that informed decision to protect themselves and possibly those people who are around them. And that is what exactly we are doing. And what we are doing now with you is one of the opportunities.
For the 13 people who are in your custody or whom you're monitoring, how are they faring?
They are all doing well, and they are all in stable condition. They have not shown symptoms, so we are praying that nothing of that sort happens.
Thank you very much. That's King James Rexford. He is the Upper East Regional Health Promotions Officer. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. The National Identification Authority says 800,000 cards are yet to be picked up in their offices across the country, creating storage challenges. The authority says it cannot be blamed for the absence of the Ghana card, which is the only requirement for the SIM card re-registration. The Communications Minister, Esla Usu-Ekufo, yesterday extended the deadline by 2 more months, indicating any card unregistered by the end of September will be rendered useless.
Upon consultation with the industry and in view of the challenges enumerated above, I have very reluctantly decided to grant a final conditional extension. The program will, and I'm choosing my words carefully, the program will be extended to 30th September to end on the anniversary of its commencement. That will give us 1 full year of SIM registration. It will be reviewed at the end of this month, and any SIM that has not been fully registered by the end of August will be barred from receiving certain services, including voice and data services. It will also be more expensive to use unregistered SIMs. The full range of punitive measures will be announced at another press briefing in September. Kindly do not blame your service provider when you suffer that fate due to your own inaction. To be forewarned is to be forearmed.
Esla Usu-Ekufo there, she's the Communications Minister. The National Identification Authority, which has the sole mandate for the issuance of the Ghana card, says it has so far registered 17 million Ghanaians and expects to cover 2 million more by end of September. Director of Communications at the authority, Abdul Ganiyu, tells Joy Prime, that's Prime Morning on Joy Prime, the NIA card or the NIA cannot be blamed for the chaos surrounding the SIM re-registration.
Ghanaians who are aged 15 years and above, based on the population and housing census, is 19,941,566. So if you strike the difference, you are talking about a little over 2 million Ghanaians within this age bracket who have not yet registered for the Ghana card. So that's where we are at. So clearly, the percentage would give you something close to 90%.
Looking at the deadline they've given right now on the 30th of September, would we be able to register enough people to ensure that the cutoff point is something that will be possible?
NIA registration doesn't have a deadline. We would also have persons who were 14 probably yesterday, now turning 15 today. So those people then become eligible for the smart identity card that you and I hold. So to that extent, we have been able to create permanent regional and district officers, 292, and that should give opportunity to anyone who is interested in registering for the Ghana card to do so.
Throughout this process, what has been the major issue or challenge that the authorities faced?
Our immediate challenge right now has to do with cards that have been printed and simply waiting for applicants to come and pick them up. That is around 800,000.
You had there Abdul Ganiyu. He speaks for the National Identification Authority. Now, policy analyst with the Ghana Institute for Public Policy, Dr. Charles Rekubrebe, blames the lack of cooperation between the NCA and the NIA for the challenges confronting the registration.
One of the tragic things about what's going on is that 2 state agencies, 2 regulators are not talking to each other. We have a situation where the bankers, who are a private group, have talked to the NIA and come to an amicable arrangement. We have a situation where SNIT and others, which are quasi-state institutions, have come to amicable arrangements with NIA, and they are being able to get on with their work, even though there are certain deadlines which I believe are also illogical and illegal. Here we have 2 state regulators which are not talking to. One of the tragic things about what's going
We'll soon visit the regions to bring you an update on the situation. But listen, if your decision not to register your SIM card is because of the quick loan you have taken from your service provider, here's a message from the Chief Executive of the Telecoms Chamber, Ken Ashibe.
It's not right, and for people, you go borrow money and you don't want to pay. And so, but the thing that subscribers need to know, especially those who registered, is that there were some details that they provided, so whether they, they register again, re-register their SIMs again, there are some details of theirs. And then Ghana is also becoming very interconnected. And so there are various ways in which, you're able to find out who took that particular loan. And, because the SIMs that they used in taking these loans, they've left a lot of digital trails behind. And so they will definitely be found.
So now you'd have to pay back that loan. But let's go to the Ashanti region now and hear from Nana Ojima, who visited some centers.
Few days to 31st of July, that is when the SIM re-registration was supposed to end. A number of people would come to the MTN office here at Aija to get the service rendered to them. There are still a number of empty spaces within the tent that have been created for the re-registration exercise. But the service provider here, that is MTN, is ensuring that whoever comes here gets the needed services. Let's speak to some of the people who have come for the service to be rendered to them.
Na me Ghana card mistake almost corrections.
So he says he had some issues with his Ghana card. He had to rectify them, and the National Identification Authority wouldn't do it in time for him to register his SIM. So now he's using the old one, that is the one with the error in the name.
Well, Western Regional Correspondent Natalia Kwansan and Nasabit reports from the Bono East region visited some centers as well.
I've been to the Vodafone area where registration is supposed to kickstart. I've seen some officers there ready, but a few people are here. You can see behind me, this is around the circle, the Central Business District, and this is where MTN also does its registration. But behind me, I can count just like 10 people with the officers there. So it's not really busy as it's supposed to be this morning. But hopefully, we would keep on checking in the course of the day if really people will be trooping in. Unlike 2 days ago when people were trooping in to do their registration, this morning it's a bit calm. Well, for some people, they feel that there is nothing wrong with it. It's a divergent view. Others feel that there is no need for them to pay that 5 cities. They already have our database, or they already have their database. So what is even the need to queue up and then to go through this process and even pay 5 cities on top of it?
Of course, I have been able to engage a few of the MTN officers here, and they tell me the exercise will be starting within the next couple of minutes. But we have a number of people already in here. Numbers compared to 2-3 days ago hasn't been same, but I can say we have a lot of people here.
And you heard there Anasa a bit earlier in Natalia Kwanza, our Western Region correspondent. Apologies for the poor quality of sound there, but the update across the country is that the numbers are relatively low a day after the extension. Now, CDD Fellow in Law and Justice, Professor Kwekwasari, is leading the charge for students seeking admission into the Ghana School of Law to boycott this year's entrance exam. The General Legal Council has announced it will determine the pass mark for this year's admission. This is in sharp contradiction or departure from the previous years when the pass mark is known even before the exam takes place. Candidates have additionally been asked to once again sign an undertaking committing to accept the results of the exam as final. Joseph Akable joins me in the studio with more. Joseph, what exactly does the notice from the GLC say?
So under the heading admission procedure, it indicates that eligible applicants who attain the minimum threshold mark set by the General Legal Council for this particular year will be offered admission for the 2022-2023 academic year. So it doesn't mention the specific pass mark. In terms of the undertaking that students have been asked to sign, it indicates that the decision of the General Legal Council in respect of the published results of the entrance examination shall be final. No request for remarking of scripts, retallying of scores, or review or marks shall be accepted. Candidates cannot also request to see their marked answer scripts
or the marking schemes used for marking the questions, and it has portions for applicants or candidates to sign.
Joseph, thank you very much for bringing us those details. Professor Kwekwasari, who has for years been leading the charge for reforms, has been commenting on this matter.
Because the citizens can compel action. We shouldn't just leave it to the law students, although they have a role to play by boycotting the entrance examination. There's strength in unity. But the Ghanaian people must support them and say to them, we cannot countenance a serial breaker of the law as the regulator of the legal profession. How does it even make sense to have a council that regulates the legal profession that does not respect judgments from the High Court?
Well, he insists the General Legal Council is no longer fit to supervise legal education in the country.
We have enough common law, enough cases determined by the courts that indicate that administrative bodies should not just make rules without giving notice to the people who are going to be affected by the rules and without giving a hearing to the people. Notice and hearing are very fundamental to Article 23. Without notice, without hearing, the outcome of whatever the administrative body is doing is per se unfair and unreasonable.
And you heard that, Professor Kwekwasari. We can now hear from the director of the Ghana School of Law, who has been commenting and says technology will be capitalized on to create more space for students.
Very soon, this facility that will enable people to have, if you like, quizal training, partial training, online or virtual, and also physical training at the law school will be possible. And so we are hoping that will come up. And that will resolve the serious situation, because as we speak, you'll be surprised to know how much we pay a day for renting a space for lectures. I think that producing something in large numbers per se doesn't mean that it will lose quality.
Okay.
It depends on, in any case, these persons spend only 2 years at the law school. They would have spent about 4 years or 3 years at the university level, and some had even become graduates already.
He appoints director of the Ghana School of Law, and he spoke to Samson Ladia Yenini on the law on the 18th of July. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy99.7 FM with me, Ernest, Manu. We're taking a break. When we return, risking to be educated will bring you the struggles of children at Boteman in their quest to access education.
Sometimes cars pass here, they fall inside the water.
What does it mean to you? Do you become afraid to go to school?
Please, yes. I'm afraid for that.
Yamawa Akwaba, ba Akwaba Magic Ebusia, brand new channel, Tia Roba, Emuno Tiao, Ewo DSTV channel 149, and Go TV channel 108. Enianom Akwaba Magic Ebusia, Eddie Nidia Ghanaian programs mu Baufi, Ebi to set the day, to have and to hold, and Yom Senior Cassia, series and talk show, Bemo Cow TV sets Nichi, Akwaba Magic Ebusia, Ewo DSTV access to your 50 Ghana cedis per and Go TV value to your 25 Ghana cedis per Ebusia Akwaba.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Time now to find out the latest in sports. Andrew Zak is here. Hello.
Well, hello. And as the Ghana Boxing Federation is adamant that boxer Shakur Samed did not use performance-enhancing drugs prior to the Commonwealth Games after the boxer failed a doping test with traces of furosemide, a substance banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency, in his blood.
It's unfortunate that it has happened this way, because you look at the kind of preparation that we had wasn't the best. For the first time in many years, the team had a knowledge campaign. So the leadership, the coaches and everybody could not monitor and watch out what they consume by way of eating and what they drink. And I can actually tell you that from what I have, he actually didn't take a performance-enhancing drug. What he took was to help him reduce his weight. And in doing that, he didn't know the implication of the kind of medicine that he was taking. He took it in Accra here to reduce his weight.
Jojo PRO of the Ghana Boxing Federation there. So that's it.
Razak, thank you very much. Too bad for us and our prospect, the sport.
Absolutely. The performance is not going so well, but hopefully we'll see how it comes out.
We have to learn the lessons. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Boteman, where children are forced to walk through a stream to access formal education. This is because the bridge on the river has collapsed and nothing has been done about it. John News' Samuel Kojo has been there and now reports.
This is what residents here in Boteman call the Boteman Storm Drain. Some even prefer to call it a river. It is located between Kanewu and this community, around the old Zoomlion recycling factory on the Tema motorway. Young school kids are left with no option but to cross the storm drain every day to school. Kwesi lifts young children who cannot cross the stream on their own. I'm told this is a daily occurrence. Abigail is a basic 5 people who lives in Boteman and schools at Kanewu near Ashaiman. She's been crossing this river to school for the past 2 years. She says the situation makes schooling difficult for her and the kids here in Boteman.
Sometimes cars pass here, they fall inside the water.
What does it mean to you? Do you become afraid to go to school?
Please, yes. I'm afraid for that. But if rain fall, the river, you don't how the way we cross the road and go to the school, we don't get it.
It is not only Abigail who is concerned. Mr. Soyi is the proprietor of Ask God Preparatory School, the school Abigail attends. He has to carry his students to cross the river on a daily basis. He tells me the problem is forcing many kids to stay home without going to school.
This place has been a big challenge, especially the vulnerables. We have a city here or a town here called Boteman. A lot of students are there. Every day, you have not even seen anything. If it rains and nobody can pass here, meaning all the children have to stay home without learning that day.
Samuel Kojo filed that report. The Upper West Regional Ministers observed that though the Upper West region has enough human resource for its required development, it is still lagging behind because of the disagreements in politics, religion and chieftaincy. Dr. Hafiz bin Salih made the statement at the opening of a law chamber by a former Upper West Region chapter of the Ghana Bar Association, lawyer Clement Eddy. That's more in this report.
He penciled 3 of the issues which has plagued the development of the region and which needs to be put on the back burner.
Let's do away with the little and petty grumblings in the area of politics, religion, and chieftaincy and hold together. Once we hold together, we'll make the Upper West region a shining place for people to come and then learn from us.
Dr. Bin Saleh revealed that the Simon Dedon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDD-UBITS, will soon run courses on law, urging the people to take advantage of it.
When the faculty begins to call for admissions, people should apply, acquire the needed knowledge, and come and then serve our dear region.
The opening of the law chambers in the region by lawyer Clement Iledi is the second in a year after lawyer Tedio Sori at Law Consult. Lawyer Clement Iledi sees the opportunity to talk about other facets of development which has been overlooked over the years, retracing the route of his personal development when he was called to the bar 35 years ago.
When we talk development, people are thinking about mortar and brick. Development also means that we have to bring services to the doorstep of our people.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam.
Now to our Drive Safe campaign, and road safety analyst Cecil Gabra is advising drivers to pay attention to traffic indications on the road, especially when approaching pedestrian crossway.
Start slowing down 100 meters to the action place, that's the pedestrian crossing,
And then for the pedestrians, they should wait for all the vehicles to stop before they start crossing. Because if it's a dual carriage road, and that's where the problem lies, where those in the inner lane have stopped and then the outer lane will not stop and there will be a run over. Never run to cross the traffic light. Always walk, but don't use your phone whilst you are crossing the road. Stop listening to music. Stop talking on your phone. It's even risky to talk on the phone whilst you are crossing the road.
And you had the road safety analyst Cecil Gabra ending the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story this hour: an easy calm in the Upper East region after health authorities confirmed Ghana's first death from the monkeypox virus. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Ernest Manu. We'll leave you with a love story that dates back 30 years. We hear from President John Mahama on how he's kept his marriage going.
She talked about, 25 years of marriage and how she's done so well, to keep this marriage. The marriage is alive because of her. I was a bit younger and foolish at the time. And so, Pastor Greg, I went into an argument with her about who has kept the marriage alive. Kojo, who's my spiritual mentor, called me back and said, why do you argue with her? You can never win that argument. So 5 years later, 30th anniversary, so I called all of them and I said, oh, Pastor, come and thank this woman so much for me. She's been my pillar of strength.
Ever since she came out, I never felt this way before.
Isn't life wonderful when everything worth doing is scheduled? Hitting the stop button on your alarm just in time for your morning jog. That happy moment listening to your baby's heartbeat at the doctor's office. Or an arranged virtual meeting with that big client.
Buy airtime ahead of time with scheduled airtime service on MTN Momo. You can schedule your airtime purchase of any amount daily, weekly, or monthly by dialing *170# option 3 and follow the process. Or simply dial *170*311# for a superb airtime purchase experience. You enjoy 100% bonus airtime anytime you recharge yourself with MTN Momo. Keep on talking with that 100% feeling. So, what are we doing today?
MTN.
There's going to come a time that the church will rise as the highest of all the mountains, and saviors will be raised in the church to deal with the world system. And let it be now. We need to have a national focus. We don't have to lose this ambition, or else we work against the Great Commission.
They are equipped in righteousness. The agenda